Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawana. It's been a couple weeks since I've dropped a video, but I decided to do a full get ready with me because I'm going on a date tonight. It's a first date, so I'm a little bit anxious about it, but I've learned to not put pressure on myself. The way we met, I'm a little just anxious on how it's going to all work out, but I do know what's for me is for me, okay? As long as you show up as your true authentic self, you're gonna know whether or not, you guys are compatible, if there's something there, if a second date is even needed. I think just it being the first date got me a little anxious, but we're gonna get ready together. I'm going to do my makeup with you. Now, I'm looking over here in my mirror. I've already kind of slicked back my hair, but I am going to do like a ponytail, so we'll put that in together. We are going to a Mexican spot. It's a little cool here in Atlanta. I think it's like 63 degrees. I'm going to probably wear like a lightweight sweater, jeans, and some sneakers, just so I'm comfortable. Let's talk about the dating world. I always hear about how scary it is. I don't think it's scary for me anymore. At this point, I'm just so self-aware, like as far as what I want, what I'm looking for, what I don't want, what I'm not looking for. So I can tell early if a guy is my style, my stilo. And I tend to not waste a lot of time, I got a bad rep for just ghosting, but I don't think I really just ghost. I think I just realize it's not for me and I move on. Ghosting, I feel like it's more so no one understands what happened. Maybe you put a little bit more time into it. I tend to leave early on. And honestly, a lot of times without explanation, but I'm getting better at just kind of like saying, hey, yeah, it's not doing it for me, for whatever reason. I honestly don't think you owe anyone that though. I mean, not unless you've built some type of connection and you're blindsiding them. But if there's been like no consistency and then all of a sudden you just, not reach out, I think it's a given. I mean, what's understood don't have to be explained in my book. I have not prepped my skin, so I'm going to put on a moisturizer before going in with a primer. And I do want to share this primer with you guys that I picked up. Well, I didn't even buy it. As a part of opening up an Ulta credit card, let's not talk about it like I needed another credit card. But anyway, I opened up an Ulta credit card a couple weeks ago, and they gave me like this kind of goodie bag of samples. And a part of that goodie bag was this Estee Lauder Futurist Aqua Brilliance. It's a watery glow primer. Here it is. And I really do like the way my makeup sits after using this primer. So I may go back and get the full size, actually purchase it. We'll see. Even now, I mean, can you tell? I did just use a moisturizer, so it may be hard to tell, but there's a glow with this primer. Now, when it comes to dating, I always say I'm open, but it's been a while since I've been on a date. Where's my energy drink? Because I need energy. 1 second. I'm back. And I'm trying for the first time this Rainstorm Clean Energy. I normally do Celsius, but the store up the street from me, they were out. And so I was like, well, let me try this. This one is a kiwi blend. Looks like it has kiwi and apple. It's really good. It's sweet, but it's really good. I'm just hoping that it works. It gives me some energy. And now I'm just setting my brows in place with this Benefit Gimme Brow. I know I put on the primer that I was just telling you guys about, but I'm gonna kind of go in also with the e.l.f. Power Grip primer as well. With this, I like to go under my eyes and then like outside of my T-zone. So like the perimeter of my face and right up under my eyes. The grip on this primer is amazing. I really do like this one. I think it's really inexpensive. I think it's like $10. I'll kind of let that sit. But yeah, I'm open to dating. I forget the guy's name. He's like a dating coach type of person. He's on Instagram, TikTok, and all of that. But he was on this podcast that I like to watch called Off the Record. And he was saying your type is your trauma. It kind of hit home for me. I always say I don't have a type, but I do kind of gravitate towards certain personalities. And so this guy, his personality so far is total opposite. So we'll see. I feel like if you're going to be open, be open. Now with foundation, honestly, I'm not sure which one I want to use. I just picked up the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint, and I'm in the number 12. I've heard really, really good things about this, and I actually wore it once to work, actually last week, and I like it. Now, after some time, it does kind of have my skin looking a bit oily, and I do double prime with the oil sucker, one size oil sucker, and even with that, I did get oily, but I like the finish on it. I also like the shade. And I like that because it's a skin tint, it's lightweight, but it actually has a lot more coverage than you would think. So I would recommend getting this, or I could use my tried and true Sephora brand Best Skin Ever foundation. It does not take a lot of this. The coverage is amazing, okay? And then the fact that this foundation is under $25, because foundations now at Sephora, $50 or more. And honestly, I don't like that. I don't want to spend that much money on foundation. Because this had me oily last time, and this is the first day, I may not go with this. I think I'm going to try this again with a different primer. I'm going to go ahead with the Best Skin Ever. And what I do, because it comes with the pump, is I just put a little bit on the back of my hand. So that was 2 pumps there. And then I'm going to use my finger to apply it. And then if you see me looking over here, it's just because that's where my my mirror is. Little on my forehead and going in with my foundation brush. It's dirty, don't judge me, okay? I'm tapping it into the skin. That's the key for full coverage. Swiping it, you're taking away the makeup. Tapping it, you're getting the best coverage for your foundation. My skin is doing better. I feel like I had this moment, or this season rather, of, I don't know, breaking out. And I really did not understand why. But right now it's looking better on my face, I would say, because I have very sensitive skin. So what you want to do is kind of drag it down towards your neck. So that way it does not look like a mask on your face. And the look is just a lot more cohesive. I just recently upgraded my phone because I was still holding on to the iPhone 11. And honestly, I wouldn't have upgraded it if I noticed the quality of my camera was like not the best, but also it was lagging. And so it was time for an upgrade. Now for concealer, I did recently pick up the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer, but this one is different from the one I normally use. This one is Glow, and so I do like a glowy under eye. I also like a full coverage under eye, just because if you can see, my eyes kind of sink in a bit, and so I want to get as much coverage as I can with my concealer under my eyes. So we'll go under there. And then I go here, down the bridge of my nose, on my chin, and then I have smile lines because I'm always smiling. Then I'm gonna also bring it out a little here. Now, what I did want to do that I did not do is go over my eyelids with the foundation as well, because I notice if I don't, they kind of look darker. And then I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and go ahead, spray my face with the concealer. Since it is glowy, kind of thin. So again, I just want to make sure before I blend that out that I am getting the coverage that I need. Now, what I do like to blend my concealer out with is a brush. And then I like to go in after that with a sponge to blend out any harsh lines. The brush that I've been loving is the Real Techniques number 242. It's a concealer brush and it's called Kitten Paw brush, and it's flat. So I'm gonna start here. So just like with my foundation, I like to pat and not necessarily swipe. You see how I'm going up here because I want to elongate my eyes. Any excess I'm gonna put over my eyelids because I am going to put a bronzer over my eyes. So just tapping my brush here, closing my eyes, and then going right here with it. Back and forth motion. So yeah, that did something. No bronzer here, bronzer there. Okay. Just make sure you're tapping off the excess. So that way you're not packing it on and it just looks more blended. Okay. I'm gonna go in with another concealer. I don't know if I like that concealer. This is my second time using it. Again, it's the Best Skin Ever Glow. I may not be repurchasing that. So I'm just gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty We're Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer. And I'm gonna let that sit down underneath my eyes. While I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and bronze. I use the Fenty Beauty bronzer. At this point, Fenty, I need some free products, child. Cause I really do like the products for Fenty Beauty. So you see the placement there with my bronzer. I really do love a bronze moment when I have a slick back. This bronzer blends out really, really well. So let's go in and blend that out. And then I like to kind of blend it up into my hair because if not, it's like my scalp that's peeking through is lighter than the other places. And I don't like that. I know I've said it before, but the key to like really seamless makeup is the blend. Like blending is so key. My son making all that noise, he on the game. And if you're a boy mom, you feel my pain. And then going down my nose, kind of just pinch the brush and just kind of swipe that up and then down, like you want it to be like coming down out of your eyelid sockets. Okay, which when I do that, I like to go back in with my concealer a little bit so I can make sure it's more defined there, and you can tell that the nose is bronzed. Okay. I don't know, I'm feeling it slick back though. I had big curly hair for a couple weeks and I liked it, I really did. But you know, if I do that again, I'm gonna use human hair. That was synthetic, and so after so long, it's just not giving. I'm gonna add some hair though and make like a braid. I want it to be like a thicker braid because I like that look as well. Very low maintenance. So let's talk. I guess as far as tips on dating that I've learned, let me just share those. I mean, I'm no expert with dating. I ain't nobody coach or none of that, okay? I just know what works for me. And what I've learned is trust your instinct. No one really knows you the way you know you. And so a lot of times, you know, we go to other people for advice, and it's fine to go to people that you trust and confide in them or even ask for advice. But I will say kind of take it with a grain of salt, because some people are only giving you advice based on their perspective, their reality, their past. They could be projecting, not even meaning to, you know. And what I've learned is every time I've kind of welcomed advice, especially when it comes to dating, I've always regretted it, because I'm like, girl, you knew. You did not need no one to tell you anything other than what you knew. I would say I'm pretty intuitive, you know, and so it don't take a lot for me to pick up on things, patterns, you know, red flags. We all got them, okay? What's a red flag to me may not be a red flag for you, and that's okay. That's why we're all different. I love a guy that's intentional. I love a man with a plan, okay? I like a guy that is thoughtful. Okay, I can say something and you're just like, noted. And what I will say with this guy is, so far, that's what I've been getting. You know, as far as with conversation and just different gestures. But again, this is our official first date. So I don't know what to expect. But I will say, so far, we've been vibing. How does that look on camera? I think it looks good. What you think? I know I got this hair out. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to keep it out. I just wanted a little something to frame my face. Let me go get my sponge. All right. So, like I said, I like to use this to kind of go around the concealer to make sure that it blends well. So that way you don't see those harsh lines. I really don't like to go over the concealer with the sponge, because I notice it picks up a lot of product. And all that time I did blending, trying to get coverage, it will remove, you know, the concealer. And then you start having gaps. I actually think I want a little more bronzer in the face. So I'm going to go back in here, here, and here. Even there, there, and there. I don't know. I've been loving bronzer lately. It's just been doing it for me. I really need to find a powder bronzer, because what you need to learn about bronzing or even makeup, when you go in with a cream, you got to go in with a powder to set it, especially if you want it to be long lasting. Okay. Now, with the blush that I'm going to use, I've been really loving this Danessa Myricks blush. I talked about it on my TikTok and even in a YouTube short. This is the Yummy Skin Red Velvet. On us brown skin girls, this blush is everything. So I'm just going to tap the brush. Now, I will say it's very pigmented, okay? I'm going to show you. Now, I also have a new placement for my blush right here. All right. Ooh, you see that? Right there. Not here, right up in here. Especially when you have high cheekbones like I do, it just really accentuates your cheekbones. So, what you doing, girl? Huh? What you want? If passive aggressive was a person, it'll be her. Or if passive aggressive was a cat, it'll be her. Let's say that. This is how you clean up your blush. Even though actually it's not that bad today. Use a stipple brush, which is one that's not like so dense, more like flared out. I don't know how to explain it, but you see the brush. You see that? Okay. I'm gonna clean it up, the blush, and put a little more concealer there. And just let that sit. Now, while that's sitting, I'm going to use my powder bronzer. I'm going to set that cream bronzer. And remember, I like to go up into my hair. I need to get me some more lighting. I'm actually going to invest in that before my next video drop, okay? This is me holding me accountable. And now I'm going to just blend that concealer out. Remember, patting it, but moving it. Because although I like a blush moment, I've noticed lately I've been going ham with the blush. Just making sure everything is blended. Now, I'm going to use an all-over setting powder Well, no, I haven't even set my under eyes. What am I doing? Girl, not you forgetting your steps. Get it from the camera. Don't know how to act. I'm using the Laura Mercier setting powder, my tried and true translucent honey. I was just using the Huda Beauty in the pink powder, and I like it, but I don't know. I just like the way this set my under eyes better. Now, what I learned from some makeup guru on TikTok, that if you have fine lines like I do, okay, to set your under eye with a brush. So I'm using this highlighter brush from Sephora brand, and I've already dusted off the excess powder, and I'm going to look up and go in under my eye with that. So see this powder? No powder. Same thing on the other eye. Let's do that. Looking up. Looking up. And going in with the powder to set my under eyes. I'm going to set again with a pressed powder under my eyes, but that's after I set my face with my setting spray. Now, for everywhere else, I'm going to use my powder puff. And this is the Sephora brand powder puff. I'm going to go in the powder, kind of go in the back of my hand, make sure there's not a lot. Here in my chin, right here where I put concealer. You're pretty much using powder on everywhere you put the concealer at. Again, there's layers to this. Layering your makeup is the key for it to, one, look like you got makeup on, but also long lasting. I'm gonna go down my nose with it right there and set that and kind of bring it up on my forehead where I put concealer at. I'll go ahead and do one of these. I don't normally do that, but I got a lot of powder on this puff, so I need to get rid of some of it without wasting it. Kind of clean that up too. Makeup is really an art, and the girls that get it, get it. You know, a lot of times you hear, oh, you don't need makeup, or I wouldn't put all that makeup on. Do what's best for you, okay? I would never tell you what you need to do. But for those that get it, they know it's an art. It's a way to express yourself, you know? And me being an expressive person, it works for me. All right, so now I'm going to use a fluffy, small fluffy brush to kind of just pat but dust away. So a 2-in-1, pat but dust away. Same here. Now, what I like to do is go in with a big powder brush. That's a lot of powder. Make sure everything is blended before I set all over my face. Remember, don't forget your neck. Don't forget your neck. Do not neglect the neck. I think this is my new favorite energy drink. Before I started recording, I was tired. Now, got a little energy. I'm using the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, and I'm going to set my face. So yeah, back to the dating topic that, I mean, I know we hear a lot about it, and I'm kind of tired of hearing about like men and dating myself and, you know, decentering men and all of that stuff. But I'm also the person that I walk to the beat of my own drum. So I hear it, but I don't really hear it for real. Because again, I'm going to do what's best for me. Always, always. So I just locked all of that makeup in with this face powder. Now, did I lose some of that blush? I feel like I did. So what I'm going to do is go in with the Fenty powder blush. I'm just going to kind of bring some of that flush back in my cheeks. So that way when I'm blushing, I'm like, you said what? Thank you. Let's go ahead and set the face. Again, Charlotte Tilbury for the win. I don't have one of those fancy fans. So here we go. Where there's a will, there's a way. Kind of just letting that soak into the skin. And while that's doing that, what can I be doing? I could do my lips, but I think I'm gonna save that for last because I'm gonna try out this new lip combo with you guys. And I need you to be honest with me, okay? While the setting spray is setting the makeup in and do our hair, let me grab that. So I use the Kankalon, the color 1B is my color. Like I told you, I am going to do a ponytail, but it's going to be braided. I want it to be a bit thick. I don't want it to be too long. I think this is a good length. What is this length? This is 52 inches. So I'm going to add 2 of these bundles together to get the thickness that I want. You see how thick it's gonna be? It's gonna be a nice ponytail. In the middle, I'm going to use like a hair tie. And I'm just going to, you wrap it around like so, and you just pull it in here. So you see how I kind of made like a knot? And then what I'm gonna do is tie it in the back of my hair. So it's attached. And then I go ahead and separate this hair and start braiding. Separate it in 3. All right, there's 2, 3 right there. And the key here is to make sure when you're braiding, you're tucking your natural hair, especially since my natural hair is natural, because if not, the texture is gonna peek through. Let me see if I can show y'all. Can I show y'all? So again, I'm just making sure when I'm braiding, like my natural hair is tucked. Oh, I think wait, no, I can feel something peeking through. Okay, wait. Feel that. And I feel some over here. Okay, let me see if I can show you. If I turn around. Yeah, see that? You can see it from the side. If you want, I can show you when I'm done. I'm just braiding it, child. This is kind of like my go-to when I want something, like I said, low maintenance. And I'm going to pull it to the side right here so I can finish braiding it because it's just easier for me. See how it's thick? That's how I want it. But is that too thick? Okay. So it's not going to be too long. I don't want anything dramatic. And towards the end, what I like to do is use a rubber band so that way it does not come loose. Let me show you. How does that look? Y'all gonna be able to see how it look because I don't see how it look in the back, but it's gonna have to work. Periods. I am done setting my face. Now I'm gonna go in and set my under eyes with this pressed powder. The best way to set your under eyes, I've learned, is set your face first and then go in with a brighter powder underneath your eyes. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. I'm in 310. And then I don't know if you can tell a difference, but I can. Go in on the other side. In my opinion, you can't set enough. You can set for too long, but not enough. If you get it, you get it. Let me go ahead and I want to smudge out my under eyes though with this bronzer, the same one that I use on my eyelids. And I'm going to actually put my mirror here so I can make sure that I'm precise. And bringing it up a little bit. See that? Kind of like making a wing in a sense. Right here. It's something about that smudge look that do it for me every time. especially when I'm trying to look a little more like feminine, like cute. And then, like I said, coming up a little bit, making sure it's the same amount of smudge, because I've been heavy on one side than I am on the other. Now, let me go ahead and do my mascara. Y'all know I don't do lashes. I would love to do lashes. I cannot. But a good mascara is really all I need. And this is a good one. This is waterproof, and it's the Essence brand. They have this at Ulta, CVS, I think Walmart, I'm not sure. If you didn't know, you'll think that's a little kitty lash, a little bitty one. You can't forget the lower lash. This is always tricky for me because I tend to make a mess. So I gotta concentrate, y'all. Don't say that. Be quiet. Okay. Now the lip combo, let's get into it. So I found this lip liner that I picked up from LA Girl, Perfect Precision in Berry Wine. And then the lip color is also like a berry. Where is my lip color though? Don't mind all that noise. I don't know why they over here working in my complex over the weekend. Say that for when people at work, you know? And then I'm gonna go in with the MAC in Diva. And there is the makeup and hair. Now, let me go find something to wear. All right, y'all, I'm running late, but here is the fit, okay? This top is from Express. These pants are Dick's Sporting Good. I have my Adidas on, my everyday bag. I'm wearing the YSL Libre for my fragrance. So